Hey traders, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you guys how I made $500 in 30 minutes when the overall market was gapping down on 19th of July 2021. Therefore, as a day trader, you need to know how to trade the market both ways because there's money to be made in both the directions, whether the market is going up or going down, and that's the beauty of day trading. Let's look at the stocks I was watching for the day. I was watching Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon, mRNA, Shop, ZM, and on my secondary watch I had Netflix because Netflix is supposed to report earnings on Wednesday this week. I post my daily game plan, my daily watch list including the news. We also trade live on Voice 1 or 2 times a week. Otherwise I'm active on the chat. We also have this education center where we post webinars like how to maintain a trading journal. Upcoming week webinar, we break down the economic events and earning calendars. So if you guys want to be part of a Discord group, the link will be in the description box below. Let's look at what SPY was doing for the day. We know that SPY was around 1.5 to 2% lower in the pre-market itself on 19th of July. That's why most of the stocks I was watching for the day were red for the day because the overall market was selling off. But if you look at the history of SPY, this 5% pullback is kind of expected and happens every few months. Same thing happened in February. It made a new all-time high and pulled back around 5.72% to around 372 level. Once it broke 400 level, we had an all-time high around 420 level. Then it pulled back $20. That is around 4.5% pullback on SPY. Now the all-time high is around 438 level. If we give it a 5% pullback, the next level we have is 415 to 416 level. If SPY stays above 415 to 416 level, I think there's nothing to be concerned about at this point. This is just a normal pullback and it's been long overdue because the market has been very extended towards the upside. We could see a similar thing happening with QQQ. QQQ was also very low in the pre-market, but it closed like a small green candle with high volume. Whenever market gaps down, we have a lot of volume in the market. The same thing happens here. For example, the market gapped down and we had a lot of volume because gapping down causes a lot of uncertainty in the market. So the volume is increased. But saying that, we don't see a lot of clean pale plays when the market is gapping down like that. On this day, I had a lot of stocks in my watch list, but at the open, I was mainly focusing on Tesla, mRNA, and ZM. That's what I would recommend you guys to do. Don't watch 10 stocks in a day because you will miss all those moves. That happens a lot. I see a lot of traders, they focus on 20 stocks in a day. It doesn't work like that. If you're a trader, just focus on 3 or 4 stocks in a day and make sure to capitalize on the moves that you see on those stocks. The first stock I was focused on at the open is Tesla. This is because Tesla was under this trend line that it's been holding for a very long time. It gapped down under this trend line because of the overall market. The overall market was also gapping down. So my levels on Tesla were the break of 620 towards the downside because that was around the pre-market low as well. The pre-market low was around 625. So I wanted to catch the break of 625 to 620 for a further continuation towards the downside. Towards the upside, I was not having any clean levels on Tesla because it's very messy towards the upside at this point. The next stock I was watching for the day is mRNA. mRNA had good news last week that it's being added to S&P 500 this Wednesday on 21st of July 2021. So that means we only have 2 market open days, that is 19th and 20th of July before it actually is a part of S&P 500. mRNA had good news and that's why it had a small, like a big green candle with high volume on Friday, whereas the overall market was selling off. So this means mRNA is very strong compared to the overall market. The same thing could be seen on Monday this week on the pre-market itself. Most of the stocks I was watching for the day were red in the pre-market, but mRNA was holding this 280 level very nicely. My levels on mRNA were the break of 288. That is the previous day high towards the upside because I was like, if it breaks 288 towards the upside, we could see a continuation towards 300 level, and that's what mRNA did. The last stock I was focusing on for the open is ZM. ZM had good news or bad news. It depends on how you take it, that it acquired a company Five9 for around $14.7 billion. These acquisition news can be a two-way street. Market can take it in a positive way or in a negative way. But in the pre-market, ZM was gapping down. That's why I always say that if you have a news, wait for the price action to confirm the news because you have to trade the price action and the reaction of the market to the news. Don't just trade the news. Okay, ZM is acquiring a company, go long at the open. It doesn't work like that. My levels on ZM were the break of 350 towards the downside because that was around the pre-market low as well, and 350 is a good psychological level. It's a good supply and demand zone that ZM has been holding for about a year now. So I thought that if ZM breaks 350 towards the downside, we could see some sell orders kicking in and stop losses getting triggered. This is my very first trade of the day and it was on MRNA. On MRNA, I wanted to catch the break of 289 or 290 towards the upside, but I just hesitated for a second. That's why the stock market can be very tricky to trade. After the break of 290, I entered 5 contracts. My fill price was 12.50. I'm trading 290 call, same week expiry. As I entered, I knew that I kind of chased this play. I don't have the perfect entry in this world. A perfect entry would have been the break of 288 or 299 towards the upside, but I got filled when MRNA was already at 290.5, so it's a bit of chasing at this point. But my stop loss for this trade was the break of 290 towards the downside. I just accepted the loss. I was like, okay, if the bids come down under 290, I will exit my position. Down 292 level, we are seeing a lot of red on the time and sales, and my fill wasn't the best. That's why I just exited this position with a small profit of around $125 on this trade. My second trade of the day was on ZM. As I discussed, I wanted to catch the break of $350 on ZM. If you look at the bottom on the 5 minutes chart, it had a big bearish candle and then it got rejected from the VWAP on the 5 minutes. That's why I was liking it for the break of 350.5 and 350. 350.5 is the pre-market low and 350 is a good psychological level on ZM. As I saw that ZM broke the pre-market low, it's near the $350 level. I placed my order to get filled 5 contracts at the ask. I got filled at 8.10. I'm trading 350 puts and the same week expiry contracts. After my entry on ZM pulled back a bit to the 9 EMA and then it continued towards the downside. But at the break of 348, I could see a lot of green on the time and sales and we could see orders going at $350 level. It gave us a big wick from 348 to 350. That's why I just covered my position with a small profit of $155 on this trade. After my trade on ZM, I was eyeing Tesla because Tesla was looking really good on the 5 minutes chart. It had these huge bearish wick on the 5 minutes. That's why I got filled at the break of 627 towards the downside. I got filled 5 contracts. At a premium price of 12.67, I'm trading 620 put same week contracts. When I entered, I knew that this 626 level is the pre-market low and Tesla was having difficulty breaking that 626 levels. That's why, just to be safe, I took 2 contracts out at a premium price of 13.21. After a few seconds, I saw that there's a lot of buying around the pre-market low, that is 626, and I know from personal experience Tesla holds these levels very nicely. So just to be safe, and it's my rule as well, if I take a profit on a position, my entry was at 12.67, I took profit at 13.21. So it's my rule that I will always get out at break even if the premiums go against me. And when I saw that the premiums are coming back to my entry point, I covered the rest of the position, making $120 on this trade. If we review my first 3 trades of the open, none of these trades were good risk to reward. I only made 2 to 5% on each position and that is not bad actually. Usually I try to aim for 10 to 15% a position, but these gap down days are a bit tricky to trade. You can see from the recording that I am not getting any clean follow throughs in my favor. So instead of going red on that trade, it's better to take your small green, and if I find a good opportunity, then I can hold on to that winner for a bit longer. My next trade of the day was on Tesla. On Tesla, I wanted to catch the break of 627 again towards the downside because it was looking really good on the 5 minute chart. It was making this triangle. That's why I got filled 5 contracts at a premium price of 12.49. I'm trading 620 puts. So it's almost the similar trade that I took the last time right here. But this time around, I like this trade. I'm pretty confident with this trade because SPY is also selling off and QQQ was also around the low of the day. On this trade, I'm giving it very tight stop loss. My stop loss is the break of 628 towards the downside. Because if the market is selling off, I want to see a clean push towards the downside on Tesla. But once I saw that 628 is breaking towards the upside, I don't want to hold any trade any longer than I should in this market. So I covered my position at a premium price of 12.00, losing around $250 on this trade. This is my last trade on Tesla. After getting faked out here, making small amount of money here and then getting faked out here, losing small amount of money, I was like, I'm going to wait for a confirmation this time. I'm going to wait for the break of 626 because I just had this intuition. I have been trading Tesla for a very long time. I had intuition that if it breaks 626 towards the downside, we could see 625 break as well. On this trade, I got filled 10 contracts at a premium price of 13.00, trading 620 puts. If you ask me why did I size up on this trade, because you can take a look at SPY at the bottom of the screen. SPY is making a new low of the day, and the Qs were also selling off around the same time. That's why I sized up on this trade. After the break of 625, I covered 5 contracts at a premium price of 13.60. After my first exit, I saw that 624 is holding on the time and sales and the level 2. Just to be safe, I covered another 2 contracts at a premium price of 13.70, and now I'm left with 3 last contracts. For those 3 contracts, my stop loss was the break of 625 towards the upside because I'm not very confident in this market. I don't want to give it more room. At the break of 625, I covered my whole position at a premium price of 13.14, making around $483 on this trade. That's it, guys. These are all my trades for the day. Overall, ending the day $593 in the green. If you look at my entries and exits, I was pretty much break even prior to my last trade on Tesla. I increased my size on the last trade on Tesla because I was going in the direction of the overall market. SPY and QQQ were both selling off around the same time, and I did not hold that trade any longer than I should have. I entered at the break of 626. I covered my position around 624 and 625. If you have seen my previous recap, sometimes I hold my trades a bit longer, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. But when I have a critical level breaking out on the 1-day chart, on days like these, I was not having any critical levels breaking. That's why I took my quick profits. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for a lot more trading recaps, trading contents, and educational content on day trading. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me there. I also post a lot of good trading content on Instagram as well. If you have any questions for me, post a comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can, and I will see you in the next video.